Okay, welcome to another episode of This Week in Search. I'm your host, Matt Coffy, and we want to talk today about some of the major changes that have happened over the last couple of weeks with Google's search and other search news. So today was the first day that we've really seen a major shift in a lot of the news reporting some of the things around Google's new AI strategy. Now, artificial intelligence has been around for quite a while and Google's been testing it out. But the question has been, when have they actually put it into use? Now, back in October, we found out pretty much by some of the last indications of some of the shifts in the ranking factors that Google was trying out something new. We call it the zombie update. There are other names for it, but in all reality, we kind of had the conclusion that we knew something was going on that was very unique, almost as if it was different from the core search algorithm. Now, this really meant that there was something going on from a robotic level. We were watching as IP addresses were coming into accounts, creating environments where they were actually spending time on a site and completing tasks. So that means there's some artificial intelligence that's actually robotically, like going out on websites and seeing from a Google level what a site is about, what it represents, how it performs, all the things that you would think would be part of a ranking factor. So this is now one of the three main characteristics of Google's ranking factor going forward. And it will probably become more and more prevalent as we move ahead. As I mentioned, part of the story of what we saw from the perspective of how Google was doing their ranking was based primarily on domain authority and domain, let's just say, quality. And now we've got a third real main ranking factor, which is the actual usage metrics. Now, the big usage metrics are kind of in their, I would say, initial stages. We saw probably a couple of roll-ins and rollouts in October, and now we're at the beginning parts of November, and we're seeing some people have uplifts, some people go down. And part of it's due to the quality of the site, how it's put together, navigation, all the things that a robot could kind of see if the site was well designed and well laid out and had good conversion strategies. Then it could say, well, this site's probably a good quality site. So these are the things that are going to affect people going forward, though domains are going to have to be built out with good quality content, good conversion strategies, easy navigation, all the things that Google's warned us in the past that has to be done in order for sites to rank. So domain authority itself is starting to lose its wane. As we all knew, it would lose its interest in the fact that it's easily manipulated. But quality and the ability to have an user experience that's worth, in Google's eyes, being robotically judged, well, that's another piece. Now, this is completely different from the core algorithm Hummingbird, which was basically set up to do semantic searches. So now we've got a quality algorithm with a semantic search algorithm along with a robotic algorithm working together to define search results. And even in the labs, the search results that were being created by this, let's just say, quote unquote, artificial intelligence, which is now called RankBrain, has outdone even the best people within Google to figure out how a ranking would be set up based on a query. So there's actually a computer beating physical people in a search query designation. So that's a good sign that we've got some things to come that are going to be affecting people's domains and their websites by the fact that there will be a whole new layer of how to make sure that you have a high quality, high level domain website and you've actually got good quality content, plus you've got good strategy to make sure if a robot comes that it can get easily through your site, create a conversion, and show that user metrics will be solid. On the second topic, which I think is kind of interesting, My Business or Google Maps or Google My Business, Places, Plus, it all kind of mushed together over the last couple of years. And now we see the final nail in the coffin, which I call the final nail in the coffin. We've seen the actual domain of Google Plus or any of the Google Plus attributes be completely taken out of Maps. Now, this is kind of silently done in the background over the last week, but now if you go into Maps, there is literally no Google Plus anywhere. It's completely gone. Anything to do with Google Plus is now separated. It is its own social function now, and the maps themselves are now just separately listed. And this bodes well very much for Google in the fact that it's simple now. We know we can go to Google My Business. They've changed the console up now to make it very simple to either add, delete, or find replications of Google Places locations. They've really made it simple for people to determine these map locations and make sure that they're set up properly. Now, we all know this. What's coming behind this is probably an ad strategy, so you can actually really go after your map listings, because there's so many now that are on the front page of a result. But what happens now is we'll probably start to see more indications that the map listings will become a paid placement over time. And we've seen these already indications of sort of service-related categories being placed into the map locations as paid conduits in some of the test sectors in California. But what's really important here is the fact that you need to really look at the map listings when you're starting to do an SEO strategy and figure out how you can make sure that you've got all of your things listed properly and aligned. Now, the next thing that's interesting to me, and maybe interesting to the rest of the world that talks about search in general, which is that Bing Yahoo, which we kind of merged together, is now profitable. So they're actually running a profitability. The first time that since 2009, since they started, they've actually got profitability. And that sounds like to me we've got competition, meaning that 24% of the search is now going to Bing Yahoo combined into that search engine compared to 73% into Google. It's a good sign. And all the things lead to knowing that Bing is doing billion dollars per quarter of revenue in their ad strategy. Really good sign that we may have some real competition to hopefully get search results and some less monopolistic viewpoints on the way that the strategies for search results come either from Bing, Yahoo, or whatever Google comes with a search result back, and that we actually have some parity on payments for map/ads/organic listings for the industry. And I think that's really what this theory seems to be going towards, which is that the more that Bing has a revenue share in this market, the better things will be off in general. Last point, we are seeing still the rollout of Panda, which is the rollout of the quality algorithm. We've seen continual lifts in actual people who had quality issues in the past and that we fixed. And what was true was that Google said this would be a long rollout, and we do agree that we think that there's either some data going back and forth, chasing down this algorithm to make sure that it's done properly. But what we've seen slowly over time, that sites that do have good quality content are already starting to rank better over time, even though the Panda was released back in September. So we're now almost, I think, 45, maybe 2 months going through this process almost, and we still are seeing changes due to the Panda rollout. So it's something to keep an eye on. The real-time Penguin is coming, they said, by the end of this month let's just say it should be done before Black Friday. I don't see why it couldn't be done before Black Friday. It'd be silly not to, because that would really make sure that there's some levity or some leveling of the playing field of any spammy sites out of the paid category for our wonderful little Black Friday / Cyber Monday world that's coming up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this session. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.